On this edition of the ZTV Sports Report, we'll give you scores and highlights from our Akron Zips men's and women's basketball teams.
We'll also have an interview with the head baseball coach, Chris Sabo, and peek into what a day in the life of a men's basketball player looks like. So stay right here because the ZTV Sports Report starts now. Welcome back to the spring 2020 semester of ZTV Sports Report, your home for everything Akron Zips athletics. I'm Nico Weathers.
And I'm John Alfieri. Nico, let's jump right into it with some women's basketball. With a rocky record of 9-10, the Zips were looking for a win against Eastern Michigan on February 1st.
Eastern Michigan is almost equal with a record of 10-9 compared to Akron. This match is an important win for either team. Here with the highlights of Akron versus Eastern Michigan is my co-host, John Alfieri.
The Akron Zips hosted the Eastern Michigan Eagles on Saturday, February 1st. Akron entered the game sitting at 9-10 and hoped to capture their third MAC win. The Zips came out aggressive offensively as Shawnee Edmonds hit a three early in the game. Eastern Michigan's Corian Cardwell was a handful all day for Akron as she drives the lane here for the bucket. Haley Reinell's impressive alley-oop from Jordan Dawson put Akron up 22-21 at the end of the first quarter. The Eagles stayed vigilant though as this save from Dawson gets intercepted by Ariana Combs for the layup. Dawson bounced back though with a big three. She had an impressive day with 16 points. Look at this pass from Dawson to Lanasia Brewer as she fires it down the lane for the wide open layup. Combs' ability to weave through defenders made it difficult for the Zips as she got this one to fall at the end of the first half. The score at halftime would be Akron 42, Eastern Michigan 35. The second half was hard fought by both sides with increased defense and toughness shown by the players. This continued late into the fourth quarter. This game was getting close, but Dawson continued her dominant performance with this tough basket. With 25 seconds left, the Eagles were down 4 and inbounded the ball to Juanita Augusto, who drove in for the layup. On the ensuing inbounds play, Eastern Michigan steals the ball and drains a 3 to go up by 1 with 15 seconds remaining. Akron inbounded it at their end of the floor, and a missed layup by Dawson would be picked up by Reinell and put back in to take the lead once again. Eastern Michigan had a chance with 0.6 seconds left, but Augusto missed the game winner. But, as you can see, the referee called a foul in the act of shooting, giving Augusto 2 free throws. The pressure was on. The first, she missed. But she nailed the second to send this wild game into overtime. In OT, Akron was on fire as they got it to a lead and never looked back. This 3 by Alyssa Clay was the turning point in this game. Eastern Michigan tried to hang around with a 3 from Augusto, but this free throw by Shawnee Edmonds was the dagger. The final score was Akron 88, Eastern Michigan 81. Head coach Melissa Jackson had this to say after their first overtime win of the season.
I tried to stay just really calm. I got a really experienced group, even though it was our first overtime game. Just the look in these guys' eyes, they wanted this so bad. And so I thought we were going to do what we did. And we came out and we executed and we stayed in our zone and got rebounds and finished it off.
I definitely knew that my team was going to come together. And I knew that we were going to win in overtime. I knew that we were going to win by a lot in overtime. I knew it wasn't even going to be close because should have won that game 2-3 times at the end of the game, and when we went into overtime, I had no doubt in my team that it wasn't even going to be close by the end of the game.
With ZTV Sports, I'm John Alfieri.
Wow, that was a close one, John. How was the atmosphere at the game?
Honestly, that is the most hyped up I've seen the Jar in a long time. It was such a close game that came down to the final seconds. Akron's overtime performance was strong and fearless, which is part of why they picked up the W.
The Zips then traveled to Ball State, but fell 52-60. They then played rival Kent State at home, but sadly dropped another one 55-60. Both were very close games. Akron traveled on February 15th to play Eastern Michigan, and they won again 64-53.
Now let's talk about men's basketball. On February 8th, the men's team also squared off against Eastern Michigan, and here with the highlights is Desmond Mitchell.
On February 8th, your Akron Zips basketball squad matched up against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. At the start of the game, Channel Banks deflected a pass in the passing lane, jetting down the court to finish a fast break layup that put the first points on the board. Not soon after, Eastern Michigan put their first points on the board while passing down low for a tough lay-in. Eastern Michigan started to get hot early in the first half, finding many gaps in Akron's defense. They were able to find easy points and get the ball down low to score. The Eagles ended up going on a 12-0 run against Akron. Akron was struggling to find their offense and committed turnovers that gave Eastern Michigan a chance for an and-one play. Being down 11 left Akron needing a boost in their offense, which they found in a ferocious dunk by Cameron Reese to gain their momentum. Akron started to fix their weaknesses in their offense and found great ways to score. A nice looking lob from Tyler Cheese to Cameron Reese put them only down 2. Cameron Reese was putting on an absolute show down low as he was able to throw down the and-one to end the first half. The second half started off right with Tyler Cheese hitting a 3-ball to tie up the game. Not only did he hit one, but fired another 3 in the corner to put the Zips back up. Although Akron found their offense, the Eagles did not back down as they came in aggressive to score. It was a constant back and forth battle as both teams fought to take the lead. Using a nice pump fake, Williams put Akron up 2 as he performed a tough hop-step layup. The following play, Dane React threw up a high post hook to score the basket. Eastern Michigan worked their way through Akron's defense to find another bucket. They stuck to the inside game as they figured out that was their strong point. They were able to find many field goals that way. The Zips were going for all the marbles as Lauren Jackson jacked up a deep 3-point shot that went in and put the Zips up 2. Coming towards the end of the second half, Akron found themselves down 6 with less than a minute to go. A difficult moving shot from Tyler Cheese left them within 3. Eastern Michigan was up 2, but Akron went hard to go home as a clutch 3-point shot from Williams went in and gave the Zips the 1-point lead. Less than 5 seconds to go, the Eagles rushed down court to throw up a possible game-winning floater that got taken out the air by Channel Banks to win the game. What an amazing way to end the game by your Akron Zips. You're watching ZTV Sports Report. Desmond Mitchell signing off. Thanks for watching.
Only winning by 1 point is a nail-biter. Nico, is it just me, or has the whole season been like this?
You're not wrong, John. This season, the Zips had to battle through adversity each game because they seem to start off slow with no sense of urgency at all, where they'll be in the tight games with teams they shouldn't be struggling against at all. If they want any chance of being a threat in the MAC Conference and possibly the NCAA tournament, Coach Gross and the Zips will have to adjust right now.
Let's take our first break, but when we come back, we'll have an interview with the head baseball coach and more men's basketball highlights. Stick around.
Welcome back. Let's stick with men's basketball. After winning against Eastern Michigan on February 8th, Akron then played on February 11th against Bowling Green. This is a huge game because Bowling Green is the number 1 seed and Akron is the number 3 seed in the MAC Conference.
This is the time in the season when these high-level conference opponents and these high-level games matter so much. Seeding for the MAC tournament depends on these games. After dropping both games to Kent and Buffalo, they cannot afford to lose another one to Bowling Green.
Here with the highlights from this crucial MAC showdown is Braden Fisher.
Coming into the game, Bowling Green was the number 1 team in the MAC East, with Akron not far behind. This meant that the game was a must-win for Akron, and a big part of being able to do that was shutting down Justin Turner. Akron started off strong on defense, making Bowling Green work for every shot, while making moves of their own and creating openings to put points on the board. Number 4, Tyler Cheese has the ball and gets by thanks to a block by number 5, Cameron Reese. It's only a couple minutes into the game and Akron couldn't make a shot after scoring 5 points until number 5, Greg Tribble, made a jump layup, finally giving the Zips a score of 7. Shortly after that, Williams adds another bucket, giving the Zips a small lead. Bowling Green with the ball, their goal to make it to the hoop. Akron's defenders couldn't stop number 25 from dunking on them. With 12 minutes left in the half, Bowling Green's Justin Turner drains a step-back 3, but the Zips quickly counter with a deep 3 of their own from Lauren Christian Jackson. Just a few seconds later, it's once again Jackson with the ball underneath. He makes the shot and the free throw to go with it. Here's the wide angle of Lauren Christian Jackson making the layup. Jackson cannot be stopped as he sinks a three. Tyler Cheese passes the ball to Reese, who is wide open while the Bowling Green defenders just stand there. At halftime, Akron is leading the game 35-29. Bowling Green needs to come back with their game faces on to remain the number 1 seed. It's not till almost 2 minutes into the second half before the Zips score. Jackson passes to Williams for a layup with Bowling Green aggressively defending. A lapse in the Akron defense allows Bowling Green to fire off 2 shots in quick succession, but thankfully for the Zips, both attempts missed. Tyler Cheese jumps into a shot, causing him to collide with Taylor Matos, being sent to the line for 2. Akron knew coming into this game if they wanted to win, they were going to have to shut down Justin Turner, and that's exactly what they did. Jackson making his free throws seems to foreshadow the rest of the half, with the Zips going on to make most of their later ones. Channel Banks gets a jump shot field goal without even setting. With 7 minutes left, Bowling Green's number 3 lost control of the ball, turning it over to the Zips. Jackson, waiting for an opening to the basket, crosses under the hoop to make the layup. Akron ended up winning 74-59 to defeat the number 1 seed. Signing off, I'm Brady Fisher.
That was a major win for the Zips. With this win, Akron moves up from the 3rd to the 2nd seed in the MAC Conference, and they're on Bowling Green's heels to be the top dog in the MAC. John, what do you think about Akron's chances of being a top team in the MAC at the end of the regular season?
I think their chances are pretty high, Nico. With games against Buffalo, Bowling Green, and Kent on the horizon, they have a real shot at capturing the 1 seed. But it'll all come down to the final weeks of the season.
I think the Zips are the best team in the MAC. They can get a bucket from anywhere, and their transition offense is on another level. The only thing that can slow them down as a team is their physicality on the glass, but they are the only thing in their way.
Okay, Nico, I think it's time to talk about something we haven't talked about on the ZTV Sports Report in a long time: baseball. Might be a little chilly out, but Akron played their first 2 games on February 16th, but sadly lost both those games in nail-biting fashion. This new team is still trying to find its groove as they head into the season, but my co-host Nico Weathers had a chance to sit down with first-year head coach Chris Sabo.
Hi, my name is Nico Weathers, and I'm here with head baseball coach Chris Sabo. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Now, I know you played baseball for 8 years. You went to the All-Star game 3 times, and you did win a World Series championship. How'd that feel?
Well, great. Obviously, I grew up in the city of Detroit, and I always wanted to play Major League Baseball. Hopefully, back then, I was a Detroit Tiger fan, and so making it to the Major Leagues was a dream come true, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It goes quick. Those 10 years went quick, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, also, I know you don't have any previous collegiate coaching experience. How do you think your playing experience will translate to the collegiate level?
We'll see. We're obviously not so good so far. We're 0-2. We lost 2 one-run games the other day, but I coach this just like I did in the pros. I coach at a pro style, and I treat these kids like men. I teach them the pro game, and hopefully it translates into some wins. Okay. Now, a guy like yourself, the number 1 question I had specifically was, what made you choose the University of Akron? Well, you know, I'm getting up there in age, and I needed one more big thing to do before I retired. I retired a few times. I retired as a player, and I got bored, and I went back into pro coaching, and I coached down at the IMG Academy down in Florida. And I was looking for one more big thing, and what bigger thing is there at the collegiate level, baseball-wise, than building a program from absolutely nothing? They didn't have a baseball team, so building something from scratch was something that I wanted to try. Okay, now I know our baseball team's been missing since 2015. What are your short-term goals for this specific program at the moment? Well, to win games. I mean, I've always won games. I've always been successful in everything I've done, and I hope it translates into this. I mean, we're trying to win games. I know we have some limited resources compared to some other MAC baseball programs, but I'm not using that as an excuse. We got these players here, and hopefully we can keep working with them, make them a little bit better, and hopefully that translates into some more wins. Since we did just come back, how do you think the baseball team being new again will attract the audience and will affect the university and, of course, the community around Akron? Well, it's something good to go watch. I mean, this is a baseball area. I mean, I live a block away from where the Rubber Ducks play, and I went to a lot of ball games last summer, and they get a good crowd. And obviously the Indians get a good crowd. So this Northeast Ohio is a baseball area. Hopefully we have a brand new field. It's going to continue to get better as time goes on, and hopefully it'll be a nice destination for all these baseball fans to have another venue to go watch ball games.
Okay. Well, thank you, Coach. That'll do it for our interview. I do wish you the best of luck this season. Back to you, John.
Nico, I cannot wait to see how this team does this year. It has been 5 years without a baseball team in the city of Akron, and I'm sure people are very excited to have this team back. Not to mention, that turf field is gorgeous.
Like you said, John, the field is truly a sight to see. The turf field is an upgrade from the typical grass field. However, I'm excited to finally have baseball back in Akron. Coach Sabo has championship pedigree, and I'm interested to see how he incorporates this into this team.
Well, Nico, I think it's time we take our last break of the show, but when we come back, we're going to look at a day in the life of Lauren Christian Jackson. Stick around.
Welcome back. Before we get to see a day in the life of Lauren Christian Jackson, let's go to John for this week's Insight Report. Take it away, John.
Thanks, Nico. I thought this week we'd stay right here at the University of Akron and talk about former Akron Zips football player and now Oscar-winning director Matthew Cherry. Cherry graduated in 2004 with a degree in media production and began his football career at Akron in 2000, where he played wide receiver. After an impressive career, he was a second-team All-Mid-American Conference wide receiver. He also finished his career as the all-time leading receiver in school history and ended his senior season with records for total receptions, yards, touchdowns, punt return yards, and punt return touchdowns. He went undrafted in 2004, but ended up with the Jaguars before being bounced around the NFL, CFL, and NFL Europe. His professional career ended in 2006. He then went on to pursue a film career and started by directing music videos. The most well-known video he directed was for the gospel song Say Yes by singer Michelle Williams. The second film, 9 Rides, was shot entirely on iPhone 6s, the first movie to ever be shot entirely on cell phones. Cherry directed many smaller independent films until 2017, when he finally broke through with an idea called Hair Love. This movie was funded completely through Kickstarter and raised over $300,000 for the animated short. The popularity and buzz grew exponentially, and when the short was finally released in May of 2019, audiences raved. On February 9th, Hair Love took home the Oscar for Best Animated Short. So, the lesson here is that just because somebody plays a sport, that does not mean that is all they are passionate about. I think a lot of people get caught up in the mindset of athletes only play for our entertainment. But they have brilliant minds, just like everyone else. Cherry may not have made it as a professional football player, but he did not let that discourage him, and he persevered and accomplished a goal people strive for their entire lives. Congratulations, Matthew. On behalf of the ZTV Sports Report, we are so proud to call you an Akron alumni, and we hope that we can represent the University of Akron with as much class and creativity as you have.
Thanks, John. What an awesome segment of insight. This animated short spoke volumes to me. It basically preaches that African Americans should love your hair, your natural hair. There's nothing wrong with being different. Love yourself and love your hair. That's what watching Hair Love meant to me. Now, let's take a look at a day in the life of Lauren Christian Jackson.
I'm Lauren Christian Jackson, and this is the day in life for me. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I chose Akron because of the coaching staff and just surrounding area. I really liked it out here when I came for a visit. It was fun, and it looked like a college campus, and I liked it a lot. I'm a grad student. I'm a junior in basketball, though. I graduated last December in business administration and a minor in entrepreneurship, and I'm getting my grad degree in sports leadership instruction. Basketball was a huge factor for me coming to Akron. The coaching staff, when I came on my visit, they kind of showed me the ropes around and just kind of just told me what they wanted me here and what they wanted me to do for the program. And I liked it, so I was like, might as well come. Typical game day starts the night before. I come here with Brett and one of the managers, Tyler. We get my shots up, we get my shots, and then in the morning I do a different set of shots. And then I have shoot around, and then right after shoot around, I kind of just like take a nap and like chill, stay here and just like relax, get my mind right, listen to music, just watch TV in our lounge. And then we have pregame meal, and then after pregame meal, I kind of just like lay down and relax again until like it's real game time, around like 5. I just get tape and then come back out and try to get shots up before the game, then try to go through what I'm going to do in the game. pretty good balance. I'd say I have 3 online classes and only one of them's in class, so I kind of balance that pretty well. I prefer online classes, so I try to, I can like work ahead and do my work prior to like games and stuff like that, so I try to get ahead in my schoolwork, so I got a pretty good balance, I think. I try to make sure I get my work in, get my shots up and stuff like that, and then do my work early so I don't have to worry about it later in the week. Spare time, I really just relax. I play a lot of video games, read sometimes, but yeah, I play a lot of video games and I just chill at home, just relax, hang out with my teammates, just do random normal college kid stuff. I get super nervous. Every game I'm really nervous, so I try to just like relax and breathe. It's kind of weird. I play so many games, but I still get the same jitters every game, so it's like I just get nervous, and then once the ball tips, they kind of go away and just like it's time to play. Confident, and at times I feel nervous depending on how the game is going. So I just try to stay confident and try to show like my teammates like no matter what happens, like I'm still here, I'm still level-headed, and like we can make a run at any time no matter what happens. So I just try to stay confident throughout the floor, and then just trying to help our fans like be engaged in the game as well. So try to keep them engaged. They come here for a show, and you just try to bring that to them as well. So they pay to watch us, and you guys come and pay and support us and stuff like that. So we want to just show you guys that we care about you and care that you guys come to the games. I'm Lauren Christian Jackson, and this is the day in life for me.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of the ZTV Sports Report.
Make sure to follow us at ZTV Sports Report on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest Akron Zips scores and highlights. Signing off, I'm John Alfieri.
And I'm Nico Weathers. Go Zips.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.